Guys, what is going on? It's your boy James the Ace. Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the possibility of Second Age being among us, and I'm not talking about calling a meeting, sussing red, and throwing that boy out the airlock. I'm talking about Second Age actually becoming a relative thing. I want to say Second Age Plus is what we'll call it, right? Because obviously, you know, Burning Rampage, new lore spells, you know, stats and everything, the new crit system, we can't really return to Second Age. So you guys are sitting here thinking, you know, oh, James, here we go. Like you're definitely about to tell us 3 hackers up in Russia are working on like essentially putting out an old downloadable client of Wiz, and this is about to get us banned, and this and that, and all this unrealistic stuff. Listen, fam, all right? What if I told you that this has nothing to do with hackers, nothing to do with modders, nobody in Russia, all right? Like nothing wrong with Russians, right? The updates that King's Isle has confirmed are coming technically, and I want to say right now that in no way, shape, or form am I saying that this is the new wave. It could very well become the new wave because I'm bringing light to it, but in no way am I saying that this is the new wave because it's very risky. It's impractical, and I say that because in order for this to actually work, the things coming to the game need to be tested. So they need to be tested in test realm, and or we need to give feedback if they do decide just to push it to live realm. And people essentially have to conform to this very specific standard of level, quest, and ranked PvP in order for what we consider Second Age PvP to work. And essentially what I'm classifying Second Age in my definition is PvP at level 90 with decent pierce, decent damage, decent resist, not 50 pierce, not 45 pierce, all right, not 100 plus damage, with Shrike. Okay, in this situation we won't be having Shadow Seraph, Shadow Sentinel, and or what is it, Dark Fiend or Nova Strat. That's just not how this situation works out, but you will have Shrike for Jades. However, you will be playing with the 2020 crit and block system, which is arguably better. As of right now, it is broken, and I'll get to why that's broken and why you shouldn't be taking this PvP system as the end-all save-all in just a second. But that is basically what I'm classifying Second Age as. No Abominable Weaver, no Fire from Above, no FFA into the FFA, into the stun FFA, into the hacked FFA, and then you report him, and he doesn't get banned for hacking and stunning you into a 4th FFA, right? That's not what I'm talking about. No shadow hits at all, just Shrike. Now, I'm sitting here telling you this is possible, but you're like, dude, okay, how is this possible? Like, there's actually no way. Once you cross this quest in Chrysalis, you get put into the Exalted tier in ranked PvP, and you're then forced to face Exalt. So if you have been following any of my recent videos, you will know that it got confirmed that King's Isle is putting a level notification into ranked. Now, what does this mean? We know that the PvP update, it kind of heavily dictates who you will get, or that's the way it should have been. That's the way it was, like, you know, portrayed to us, who you will get based on your level. So level bands, we're returning to this idea of level bands, meaning level 1 through 9, level 10 through 19, 20 through 29. You can kind of get an idea of what I'm saying, right? That is essentially what this level notification will harp on. The idea that if a player does not want to face a level 80 at level 66, they have the actual option to deny that match. And that is something that we do not have in the game right now. The only notifications that we have in the game, because I actually didn't know this before, there are 2 notifications that we currently have. One is letting you know that you're about to get a player of a higher tier. So if you do legendary PvP, level 80 PvP, level 90 PvP, and you're about to get paired up with someone who has shadow magic, the game will tell you. But there's also another notification that lets you know that you're about to get someone who is a higher rank. I did not actually know this because most of the characters that I PvP on are currently warlords, right? So the third one is going to be level. Now, essentially what this means is if I cross over and complete the quest that gives me Shadow Strike on certain schools, because not every school gets it free. Some schools mainly the defensive ones, I think like Life and Ice and like 2 others maybe, have to spend a training point, but you can get it right then and there after you complete the same quest as everybody else. It just costs a training point. But essentially, I can get Shrike, not breach level 100, and deny matches with people who are level 100. Now, the argument that I hear is that there's no point in getting Shrike. I mean, at level 95, just take my stats for instance. I have 100 damage. I don't have my mount on, so it's not showing the gear bonus, but the set bonus for the Primevals pack. But I have 5k health, 46 resist, which means nothing because I have 37 pierce, and other schools can get way more than this. Storm can get like 50 plus. So James, why are you making this video if there's no point in getting Shrike, right? Even if you can deny a match with a level 100 plus, there's no point in getting Shrike when you're a walking Shrike. You just infoul, fam. Like, huh? So what if I told you that instead of needing to actually go in the game files if you're a dev and slap a no PvP symbol on Pierce Jewels, which is basically what people are saying. They are saying that Pierce Jewels need to be no PvP in order for PvP to be balanced, right? What if I instead propose that the soft and hard cap is supposed to be the short-term solution to the gear audit update? Now, the gear audit update is still going to be a thing. I'm not sure if they're going to make tweaks to the soft and hard cap. They probably will once the gear audit actually comes out. But essentially what this is supposed to do is negate the ridiculous amount of damage. Mine being 100, some schools can get over 100. My resist becomes nothing because everybody pierces my resist. And pierce just gets worse overall. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, so you're saying damage for level 90 goes back to the way that it used to be, you know, like in 2014. Pierce goes back to the way it used to be because it's not this ridiculous percent. It gets hard capped, probably around, I want to say like a fair percent to be would be like 20. Maybe the soft cap is somewhere around like 10, 15, right? So 37 starts really feeling like maybe 23, if that. This is just speculation, right? But then, like, what about crit? The crit and block system is not the same as it used to be in 2014. So, you know, I don't want to be playing in an age where someone can Shrike. You know, even if they don't have Abominable Weaver, they can still Frostbite me, crit on me, and I'm not going to block. You know, you have a less chance of blocking than you did before they recently changed it. So what actually gives? Well, if you think about it, number one, the higher amount of block you have, the less damage you'll take from a crit. And on top of that, what is the number one thing that is driving crit at this current age to be so goddamn powerful to the point where block is essentially worse than it was before when it was a percent? The answer is damage and pierce. So as I just told you, damage and pierce and resist is getting capped. So what does this mean ultimately? It means that crit is essentially going to get worse. What does that mean for block? It means block is essentially going to get better. You can kind of start to see what I'm trying to explain to you guys, right? Stats for certain schools like 60, where certain schools can get like, let's just say for instance, Storm can get like 20 goddamn pierce and almost 400 or more critical, which equated to like 80% back in the day when crit was a percent. That was abysmal. If a Storm crit on you, you lost the match hands down. Level 60 was never supposed to be the introduction of critical, right? I'm going ham with this right now because honestly, I'm super excited about this idea. But again, it's impractical unless people actually do this at a big enough rate for it to work. But 60 was never supposed to be the introduction of pierce. So tell me why people are running around with 20 pierce on a level 60 Storm. That is actually ridiculous. The max amount of resist that you could get at level 60 was maybe 45. Most offensive schools ran about 30 to 40. Probably less than 40. So essentially you were running around with not even a normal weakness worth of resist. It is even worse at level 90 now. The whole point of the hard and soft cap update is to return the proper amounts of damage, resist, and pierce that your gear should be reflecting back to the way that it basically should be, right? Level 90 is the introduction of meta pierce. So the devs realized that a level 90 having 37 to 45 to 50 freaking Pierce is not balanced. That is the whole point of essentially nerfing these offensive stats, because people complain the game is offensive 101 right now. The fix, soft and hard cap. You can kind of see now more how this is circulating into second age, essentially returning. Block is getting better, crit is getting worse. How is it getting worse? Damage and pierce are getting worse. They're getting capped. Stats are returning to how they used to be essentially in second age, right? So, like, what does this mean? This means that resist becomes better. People start using more defensive strats. Solar Surge starts acting like it should be instead of being abused by the massive amounts of piercing damage that we can get with certain gear. And this becomes a meta where Shrike is viable. Now, where have we seen this before? We're basically returning to 2014. But I call it Second Age Plus because of new lore spells. You know, Fire has Burning Rampage. Fire now has Detonate, which is 1 pip. Balance has a bubble. You know, it's essentially a modded version of Second Age. And Block, essentially, if the ranking system works out how I'm trying to explain it to you guys, which is what it's pretty much projected to be from the information that we have, Block gets better. Shrike becomes viable. Resist isn't a thing of the past. And essentially we move forward by returning to a simpler time. So we're moving forward by going backwards, right? We've moved way too much forward to the point where the game has become severely offensive. And unless you're going immune to somebody, I mean, you basically can't really play defensive, right? This is why people are going immune. Like, yes, some people are going immune to troll, but there is now a timer in ranked PvP, so you can't just enter and not have a strategy and think that you're going to win. So I know that this is a lot of rambling, but I mean, I had to get this out. Second Age essentially could come back, like a Second Age Plus, a modded version, if you will. And this is all being provided by the devs themselves. So for those of you that keep hearing from your friends that played back then that Second Age was the prime time of Wizard101, when PvP was the most balanced, when the only thing that you basically could complain about was getting crit on, because, you know, Block didn't negate the amount of damage that you took from a critical. If you got crit on, you were taking ×2, and that hurt back then. But resist mattered. Pierce was very minimal, and it was pretty much impossible to not be a glass cannon and get basically more than 100 damage on a score that wasn't Storm, right? And again, I'm not saying that this is going to become the new wave, but if you think about it, this is possible. We're essentially returning to Second Age. Like, if these updates come out relatively the same time, this is going to give room for the devs to stop focusing on the broken state of critical damage, resist, and pierce, and glass cannon, and people going immune strategies, and just things that are happening, and they can finally start focusing on the actual gear audit, which is pretty much going to take up most of their time. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I just want to say thank you so much for the support you guys have been showing recently. Like, I've been getting a lot of subs. You guys have been liking the hell out of the videos. Bro, like, that shit honestly makes my day. I really appreciate it. I know I've been putting out way too many ramble videos. A lot of you guys want to see PvP. I promise it's on the way. I'm trying to decide on whether to bring the Myth or the Fire up to 90 next. I don't know, because the Fire has max Krampus, and I have the Morgantha Theme and Amulet for the Fire, but I also have it for the Myth, and like, Myth is super top tier at 90, but like, Fire just seems a little bit more spicy, you know what I'm saying? Caliente. So I don't really know, fam. One of them's going up. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys showing support for the video. Like this video if you enjoyed. Want to see more videos like this. PvP on the way, I promise. All right, streams probably soon. I'm off all next week, so we'll see what happens. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.